What is going on, YouTube? It is Primitive here, and today I'm be bringing you another locals match between myself on the left playing Gabumon, and on the right my opponent is going to be playing Gallantmon. Now this is right before finals. Whoever wins this is going to be making it, so semi-high stakes match whenever we got some stored credit going on the line. But we see Gallantmon starting off with the Gallantmon in the back, going into the training, just trying to find some pieces to build up. I'm going to start off with my BT6 Gabu and a blue memory boost. I decide to grab the ancient Gabumon. I don't think I quite have the Lobomon yet to warp up, but if I do see it, then I will be able to have that ability to go up. I don't have the BT6 mat, so I can't threaten Gabumon just yet, so being able to have that ancient in the back is going to be nice. But we see my opponent go ahead and swing in with the Growlmon. No ultimate just yet, so just getting that check in, and they are going to survive. I don't have a lot of high DP Digimon in my deck, so there is a lot of times where they're going to be able to survive. And now my hand is looking a little bit bricky here, so I don't have the Gabumon, I don't have Matt, and I don't have the Lobo to go into ancient, so I decided to try to slow down my opponent. I go for the Gabumon Ace here to be able to stun my opponent down. Now I was supposed to trash a card there. I have multiple cards in my hand that I'm not going to be able to use, so that was just a mistake on my end. I was supposed to trash a card when I drew off that Gabumon Ace, but now I just stunned that Growlmon on my opponent's end, so they weren't going to be able to get any checks in. Put my Gabumon in the back, and I do have the mat now, which means I can start to threaten that bond of friendship that's in my hand. And when my opponent swings in, they are going to hit another mat. Thanks to my BT6 Gabumon, it is going to gain me a memory, putting my opponent at 0. So now they won't be able to training and go into an ultimate and keep turn, which is nice for me because right now we see they haven't gone into a level 5. They have 2 champions and a rookie on the board, and I'm only sitting on 2 security, so I need to clear off the board right now. My opponent doesn't have any Digimon in the back, so by going into Bond of Friendship and going for all the bottom decks, I will be able to clear off the board right now. Now I'm just thinking, do I want to go for my opponent's security to try and just go for game here, or did I want to swing over one of the Growlmon just so that way I can guarantee that I clear the board? But I decided to go ahead and go for all the swings. If I do hit Crimson mode, I am going to go down, but I am going to have to take that risk and just try to go for game right now because it is clearing out my security. So I'm going to swing the 3, go for the Gabumon, and then I'm going to go for the Lanamon here first, because if I hit something that deletes my Gabumon Ace, it will pass turn thanks to the overflow, but I was able to clear security and then just clean it up with that Gabumon Ace. Now moving on into game 2, my opponent is going to choose to go first, and they're going to start off with that Gallantmon into the training, put that Crimson Blaze to the bottom, which is something that we were talking about because we did go a little bit wide that first game and Crimson Blaze would have been really nice, but they decided to skip it because Crimson Blaze is not normally a really strong card into the Gabumon matchup. So now they're popping that training to go up into the Growlmon. They got the Takato in the back, and so they are setting up pretty nice, and then another training here to be able to grab one of their pieces, and they thought the mat was a memory tamer. It's not, so corrected the memory there, but I do gain 1, draw 1 when I promote. I was considering if I want to promote or not, but I do need to kind of get the cycle going. My hand isn't super fantastic, so now going with the Lanamon, putting the other EX1 Gabumon underneath means that I get to draw with the Wanya, and I get 2 EX1 Gabu hits. Only one of them does hit, so that is a bit unfortunate because now my Lanamon, just sitting at 4k, is definitely going to go down next turn, but I had to try and cycle a little bit and just try to find something, be able to go up into a bond maybe in my next promote, but it's not looking too good for me going into my opponent's turn. They have the Takato, which can gain the memory. They have the training to be able to get up into their ultimate, which is going to be able to delete here. They do forget to tap their Takato right there, which is a little bit of a mistake, and they don't realize it up until they pass the turn, but not going to matter too much because now they're going to go up into the Gallantmon, and that's going to be a huge problem. Outside of the Foxfire, I don't really have a way to be able to deal with the level 6s, and right there we saw he messed up with the Takato. He could have kept turn and going, but I don't think it's going to matter. There's not much I can do. I'm going to put the Gabu in the back. I'm going to play the blue memory boost and reveal all 3 of my Bond of Friendship, so have to take it, but at least I have my bond now with the mat in the back. But unless I find the red plugin, I'm looking way too far behind. My opponent with this Gallantmon is going to be able to continue to swing up. They're going to be able to threaten with the Crimson mode, and they're also just far ahead. I can't deal with this like I mentioned before, so unless I'm able to go for some sort of OTK next turn with the bond, ancient, plug-in, hybrids, whatever I can get, then I am probably just going to be going down in my next turn. So I'm sitting here right now thinking about what do I want to do right now. Do I want to promote? Do I want to stay in the back and play this other mat that I have in my hand? But I'm kind of seeing the writing on the wall right here, so I decided to promote and see what I can draw here, and hopefully I can get something going. I do have the Louis in the hand now, so if I were to be able to go up into Omega and pass turn and go for the analog to be able to hatch again, I could potentially get some checks going, but just have to go for the Lanamon. Gonna put the EX1 Gabu underneath. Not gonna be able to hit anything nothing there, unfortunately. Gonna swing in with jamming at least, but still not that great. There is a rookie in the back. There is the Gallantmon on the board, so all I can do is play this Ice Wall, so that way my opponent isn't able to potentially go for game, but because of the amount of cards that are in my trash, there is a very high chance that I am just going to go down to potentially a Crimson mode or something like that if they are able to blitz out. So we are going to go for the Crimson Blaze. They're going to delete, gain the memories with the Tocado, and they're going to swing. They're going to trash, and because I have the 10 or more in the cards in my deck, they're going to trash again and then be able to just swing in for game. So like I said, kind of saw the writing on the wall on that one, so let's just go to game 3. I'm going to be having my opponent going first. Even though they won that second game going first, I do prefer to go second with this list, and I do think there was a couple things that went wrong for me in that game. So I do have a strong start. I have the Gabumon, I have the mat, which means that I'm going to be able to start getting resources early. I'm going to be able to threaten that Bond of Friendship to bottom deck, which we saw the huge power of in that first game, being able to just get rid of their board so they're not able to build up. But they are going to go for the Growlmon here, which is going to mill 2. They're going to swing, hit just a 1k Gabumon, so a very safe check for them at the moment. And luckily for me, they just go for the Tocado instead of going in for an ultimate, because the longer it takes them to get up into a mega, the better, because they are just so hard for me to deal with. So I'm thinking about what I want to do to deal with this Growlmon. I decided I am just going to go ahead and trade here. I do get the draw with the Wanya and the EX1 Gabu Search, and I just kind of, I want to get the check in, but I really just kind of need to slow down the amount of time that it takes for them to get to their ultimates and their megas, so that way I can prepare for the Bond and just try to control board or go for another OTK type turn like we saw that first game. But now we're looking at a little bit of a board reset. I was able to develop my Davis, but just cleared all the Digimon off the board, so my opponent's going to go for that Growlmon in the back, play out another Tocado, so we are just looking at a couple Tamers coming out. Now I do have a rookie in my hand, but since I'm at 3, I'm going to go for the blue memory boost to look for that BT6 Gabumon, which is going to be the best rookie to have right now, because it is going to give our Bond of Friendship an extra unsuspend to attack, and I am trying to go for that OTK right now, because if they get up into a mega, it is just going to be that race, and I think my best way to go about it is just going for an early Bond. Now I go for a little bit of a risky Ice Wall here just to put them at 1. They have the Tocados, so if I put something on the board, they can delete and be able to gain memory, and I just want to limit what they can do right now, because I am going to be having a pretty strong turn next turn. So by putting a Digimon on the board, I'm just giving my opponent more options, but they are just going to play another Tocado and pass over. Now coming back into my turn, I'm going to go for Lobo into Ancient, just so that way I can go for one of my more favorite plays here, which is I am going to be able to swing unsuspend here, and I will be able to pop the memory boost to go to 3, and that'll allow me to go into my level 7 Bond of Friendship. And because I have that BT6 Gabumon, I am threatening 3 more swings, so we're looking at 4 checks this turn. Now as long as my Bond is able to get these checks off, I am going to be looking in a pretty good spot. I did Digivolve over the Ancient Gabumon, which means I'm not going to be able to get that on deletion to play out a hybrid, but I'm not too worried about that because I do have that Louie in hand. So I'm setting up right now to be able to hatch next turn, put a Gabumon in the back, play that Louie, swing the last check, and then be able to go for a hybrid. So I just play out another mat to make sure I have enough memory to do all of this, and I also leave no Digimon on my board, so my opponent can't gain any memory from these Tocados. They do have the red memory boost, which will give them a little bit of wiggle room, but being able to deny essentially 3 memory gain from the Tocados is really going to slow down what they are going to do here. So we're going to see the Growlmon come out, and they are just going to go ahead and Digivolve up into the Gallantmon here. Nothing to delete, but they are going to be able to swing 1 check here, and then since there are no Digimon on my board, the War Growlmon Inheritable is going to come out, be able to give them 2 memory to keep turn. But like I said, because they weren't able to gain that 3 memory from the Tocado, they are just sitting at 1 instead of 4, which is a world of difference in how much damage they can do to me this turn. So they are just going to go ahead and play that Growlmon and just hope that I am not able to go for game right now. I am sitting at 3 memory, so I technically can't double hybrid right here unless I go for the Hammer Spark, but like I said, I am going to be going for the Louie play here. So put the Gabu in the back, go for the Louie, going to be able to gain 2, draw 2 with the mat, gain 1 with the Louie, which is going to put me at enough memory to go for the Lanamon and be able to take that game 3. So a very close set right there. Every time we play this matchup, the Bond versus Gallant, we always have some really great sets that go very close back and forth, but that is going to be today's match. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe because I'll be bringing you even more Digimon content. Hope you have a fantastic day. Peace out.